Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is having a nice weekend. I plan on it. I was getting ready to do this video and I put these are Panama Jack sunglasses, but they're polarized. And so these are worth a lot more money. Like these are Puma sunglasses. 3 or 4 times more money, but they're not polarized. And these are Vera Wang sunglasses, 10 times cuter, but they're not polarized. So I was thinking, you know, really one of the things we can do is try to make sure we're really getting value for your money. I bought these for about the same price. And these are a lot better for your eyes. Out here, we're being cooked. My garden is coming along good. I was out in the middle of the night. It makes me very nervous because there's coyotes out there. But if I leave my garden, I go out there about 2 o'clock at night and water it. Otherwise, by morning, it's almost dead. It's that hot here. So I have a good video for you guys. Jan from New York City Saves Money. You guys subscribe to her. Her channel is a lot like mine. Her emphasis is saving money. My emphasis, well, yeah, saving money with me too. But you know, I'm all over the place. The YouTube algorithm doesn't like it. It punishes me. Saving in Action Pantry Salad. Go watch this video, and it's a really good video. What it is she was doing meals at the end of the month where she just went into her pantry and she you know, didn't spend any money. Okay, there's rumors that something might, like some power outage or something might happen around the 12th of August. Today it's maybe the end of the rent moratoriums. It can't last forever. That can't last forever. Out here, if the power grid goes down, you know, if there's no power, you can't get gas. You can't use your cards. You can't really do anything. And so, the worst thing would be no water. So today, one of the things I'm doing is shopping for big containers, like trash cans, so I can fill those with water, you know, in case, you know, my garden can't go a day. It was a lot of work. First of all, I'm not into yard work. I was a workaholic. But I went to the mountains by my house, and the dirt must have been good because my plants are growing good. But I hauled dirt in my kitchen. I have one of those big kitchen trash cans. I'm gonna fill that full of water. And I filled my backyard in, and it wasn't that much, but it was load after dirt. And because I didn't want to pay $10 bag. And my son brought dirt too from his house. That was not good. So I don't want to go through something like that again. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about, okay, you guys have seen these floods. One of the horrifying places that's flooding is Utah. Moab, Utah, and Cedar City, Utah. A lot of Mormons send their kids to college, at least they used to in Cedar City. I went to college in St. George, Utah when I was a kid. That was fun, actually. Most of my education, though, I did here in San Diego practically free. So one of the things I studied for years and years and years was nursing. And so last night I went there somewhere and I was the only one in a mask, and I thought, I don't care. When this COVID started, a lot of healthcare workers didn't have gloves and masks. I will never be gloves and maskless in my house, or toilet paper. So, okay, when I was doing some of the studying, one thing I became was an EMT. This was like after 9/11, and I said every American should be prepared. So the first night of class, you know, number one thing, survey the scene. So be aware of your surroundings. And to this day, I'm still like that. And now things are so dangerous. Like if, you know, like these flash flooding situations. If the place north of you has flooded, the water usually runs south. If you have flooded, chances are it's going to flood again, because possibly we're in a grand solar minimum. In Cedar City, I think it was, one of the real horrifying things is they have basements. My grandmother had a basement, and they used to keep their food and stuff down in there. And, you know, like now we get storage and we keep junk in storage, but, you know, they kept stuff down there like food and stuff. We used to like to go down there when we were kids. We used to like to get into everything, but these basement apartments flooded. And what's happening is these fires and these floods and everything are happening in the middle of the night. We had a release of water from the dam, and it happened at 6 o'clock in the morning. They said it was a miscommunication in the middle of a drought. So we want to get into the habit is, could any of this, you know, surveying to see, could anything cause me problems, go out of control and get me killed? One of the things that I've observed out here that I think is super alarming is this giant number of homeless people out in the mountains because fire season is coming. I don't know if they think they're going to outrun the fire, but if the fire doesn't kill you, the smoke will. It's very dangerous. I was noticing there weren't many like there were in the cities. I don't know what's motivating them. Probably, could there ever be a conspiracy to kill them by providing drugs, like, or, you know, other nefarious plans for them? A lot of them end up dead. Okay, number 2 thing, do not try to resuscitate a cadaver. So if the person, like if the person's been decapitated, do not try to do CPR on the head of the decapitated. And I thought at the time, you know, I might have done that. So do not try in some kind of dangerous situation where there is casualties. Do not try to intervene for the corpse. Go to the people that are alive. And so do not try to resuscitate a dead person. Another thing is, if you're called and there's an obvious homicide, what they told us to do is turn right around, leave the house, get into your ambulance and call the police. But even like for a civilian, if you encounter a homicide, do the same, because the killer might still be in the house. And if you're you know, you're trying to be helpful, it's like the cadaver, you know. I'm not saying leave helpless kids or, you know, maybe grab the pets, but evacuate and call the police if it's an obvious homicide. So, you know, you might be saying to yourself, anybody knows that. No, anybody does not know that. So we're watching for dangerous natural disasters. We're watching for, we're surveying the scene, especially when there's been some kind of like the what do you call it, the building that collapsed in Florida. There was a woman out there yelling, oh my God, 7 minutes before it collapsed. So A lot of people probably could have gotten out in those 7 minutes. Okay, so those are some things. Now, another thing I want to talk about is enemies from within. So, okay, we're in a trade war, and I think a lot of people are getting it confused. We're in a war. You know, our family, you know, my ex-husband was in the military, so it gives you a strange perspective. So some people are going, the vaccination is the mark of the beast. Possible. But the attack was the corona. We were attacked by a virus. And so that seems to be how they're engaging us in war now. And then there was no mask and there was no gloves, and a lot of casualties happened like in a war. So most wars last about 10 years and we're in year 2. So the war is probably not over. And so the attack is the corona, and the solution maybe is the vaccination. That's for everyone to decide. So now we have another attack of the variant, and it's of the variant. So we had a couple people who traveled here as tourists to San Diego and picked it up. They went to Belmont Park and the beach, and they were having a good time. So now enemies within. So when I was going to the Adventist church, this was in Africa, they had a hate campaign against the Adventists, or Christians in general. So what happened was they were killing all the Christians, and the pastor told all the Christians to meet at the church. And so all the people trusted him. They went to the church and they were all murdered. And what had happened is he had been breached, and they told him, if you don't tell them, we're going to kill you and your family. So can we entirely trust anyone? The answer is no. That goes for schools and everything else, the Boys and Girls Club, the church, the Catholic Church. You know, don't be leaving your little kids, because we don't live in trustworthy times. Okay, so that is an example of a pastor. So can pastors give us bad information as well, which leads us into a bad direction? The answer is yes. Also, YouTube. Now, I've been hearing something, and I want to make mention of this. Okay, there's some kind of mass casualty, and they say we want to remove you to an undisclosed location to administer medical. That doesn't seem like a good idea to me. We have to have these locations undisclosed because too many people need medical attention. Okay, when I did the triage, you go in and you get the people who can walk out first, and then, you know, if possible, you try to administer. So catastrophic injuries, relocated, I don't know about that. I wouldn't really want to sign up for that one, you guys. Also, a lot of dangerous things like underground tunnels, underground railways, space travel. Who's to say what could happen? Okay, so the point is don't be so trusting. In fact, don't be trusting. Forget trusting. Okay, so how about government officials? Could they be bought out? Or maybe they're just working for the dark side, possibly. Now, another thing is plots involving insurances. Okay, I was watching a video last night. It was Glenda Sully. Go to her channel. She's a lovable person, and she makes a lot of good points. And so what happened was, she was parked and she went to get in her car, and she saw a kid. She saw a guy in a car, and she had enough time to get in her car, and he came by and he clipped her, and he knocked the you know, the door, the little piece, so he barely clipped her. Supposedly his rear view mirror was shattered. Okay, he clipped her. And like in my car, if, you know, I'm going forward, I would hit that person. I would clip that person with my rear view mirror not on the mirror side, on the other side. So in my opinion, it was like an opportunistic chance to get his mirror fixed. I had a guy, it was a kid, same thing, and I saw him, and I went across 2 lanes, and I was watching him, and he accelerated, so I accelerated and pulled into we have a center divide on our 5-lane streets, and he still managed to clip me. And what he had was a big dent on the side, and he knocked my license plate askew. And so we got all the information, and a guy ran out. I saw you, I witnessed for you, I witnessed for you. I go, fuck you. Anyway, I didn't turn it in. And so eventually, you know, he was desperate to get his car fixed. And the lady goes, why didn't you turn it in? I go, because he hit me on purpose. As you can see, I don't have any tickets, citations, or accidents. And he was looking to get his front end fixed. She goes, well, we don't care as long as he doesn't claim injury. So be on the lookout for plots for insurance fraud. We had a house, a big house out here, burn from a fire. The whole house burned from a fire in the chicken coop, from the light in the chicken coop. I'm going, In my apartment complex, there was a fire. I mean, there were sheriffs and firemen there. And so across the street from me, I went to the nursery, and some mention was made, and he said, oh yeah, I saw the flames. I go, flames? Goes, yeah. I go, oh my, I think, I have known someone who burned the house down when they left the whole apartment down, when they left bacon grease going. But I would say, if I was gonna hazard a guess, you can't pay your bills, you need cash, and your house burns. So plots involving insurances. Okay, now, resource snatching. Like what? The owner wants his apartment back. What are you gonna do? What you're gonna do is you're gonna move, that's what. That was the worst place I ever lived, and it culminated very badly too, but it was an example of resource snatching. My relative needs an apartment, you got it, I want it. Nothing you can do. So you don't, and it's now, with times being so bad, and here in San Diego, dwellings being so sparse, and we're seeing another thing to keep your eye out on is credit tightening. So there's not going to be readily available credit. I think I see that now. So also they can just like wipe out your credit, you know, okay, no credit. I want to mention this. See this silver chain? I used to buy these I used to buy them in flower, you know, the thrift stores would dump them in flower vases, and you would buy the whole vase for a few dollars, like $7. Now you can't hardly find them, but when I went to the swap meet, I sold these very easily. I had a small assortment of jewelry, and that's one thing I did easily sell. So what we want to do is we want to watch out for some of these things, because they're going to be happening more and more and more. Disasters, resource snatching, insurance plots. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.